Hello, my bumped, bruised, and blessed family. I have a topic today that was generated by you guys. I always love and read your comments, so please don't hold back. Don't be shy. If there's anything you want me to cover, let it fly. Contact me in some way, email, or leave a comment, and we will tackle it. My name is Michelle. For those of you that are new here, I was raised in a dysfunctional unit with a narcissistic mother, an enabling father, a golden boy, flying monkey older brother, and then there's me, the scapegoat. I've been no contact since August of 2019. Thrilled, grateful, loving every moment. Wish I did it sooner. And for those of you that have been on this journey with me, thank you for staying here. I love and appreciate you all. I'm sorry that we all know this nightmare, but we're in this together. So the topic I'm talking about today, I'm going to try to be as impartial and diplomatic as I can, because I know we've all dealt with this. So the problem is when you are in a narcissistic relationship, be it with a partner or if it turns out to be your parents, it's like when you finally start asserting yourself and protecting your sanity, your own well-being, and then it's like you unfortunately start to realize that the extent of the mistreatment and disrespect goes a lot further than just the narcissists, the primary narcissist in your life. What I mean by that is that if your parent was a narcissist, even if you've, gotten into a narcissistic relationship later in life with a partner, we'll say, they strategically dismantle all of your own self-protective instincts. They will cut you down, cut you down, cut you down. It's like death by 1,000 cuts. So, in result of that, you unfortunately accept people into your life that are mistreating you, that it's like they're all opportunistic predators, man. It's like they all, I don't know, it's like they can sense it, You have a good heart, you're a kind person, that's why you were targeted by these monsters, and they know that. They know that you are tolerant, you want to see the good in people, and so here they come, And I'm going to speak about that. First off, I was in a miserable entanglement. I don't even like to call it a relationship, but with this loser, like decades ago now, thankfully. But I was engaged to him, and when I met this creep, I was 20 years old. I was about to be 21. I had a lot of friends from my sorority in college, and we all used to go out together. That was the thing. That's the age, right? So this piece of crap was 9 years older than me, and he loved seeing and being seen, like going out, and loved that I was like the, what would you call that? Like, cornerstone of his social life at that point. It's like all my friends were like going out and having a good time, and this creep just piggybacked off of my social life. So, regardless, he ended up befriending several of my close friends, I thought, and they just hook, line, and sinker, man. Narcissists are very charming, and they were totally swindled by this creep. One particular friend, I'll say, And, like, he ended up, like, confiding in her, telling her, like, he was gonna break up with me before he even did it. And, like, where was her allegiance? You know, my whole point in the, again, trying not to get emotional about this, but, like, end of the day, these people are not your friends if they're going to just sidle up to the narcissist. You know what I mean? So when he discarded me, when that relationship ended, finally, thank God, that volatility, the instability, so unhealthy, it was so awful. And that's another thing, like, none of my friends ever, like, stuck up for me and said, you know what, Michelle, this is really unhealthy, bad situation, and he doesn't treat you right. So nope, nobody did. I just went through this nightmare, this volatility for like 5 years. When he finally discarded me, it ended up being, I walked away from, I was walking at the time, BTW, but I ended up walking away from the whole thing, the whole group, you know, my friend group at the time. Like, because everyone was tainted, it seemed like. And this is what is, you know, they say, like, when you begin healing yourself, it oftentimes involves isolation. Because people that you thought you could count on, you thought were invested in you and cared about you, actually were not. That's the first scenario. Second scenario is if your parents are the narcissist. And you might be like, what about my aunts and uncles? What about my cousins? Like, why does nobody, like, stick up for me? Like, why am I being targeted in this way? And no one has anything to say about it. This is unfortunate. I've spoken about this before, like the mob mentality, like the diffusion of responsibility and groupthink, etc. Unfortunately, when we're dealing with narcissistic abuse, it's intergenerational trauma. So it's cyclical. It's been going on way before you got into this world, and it will unfortunately continue because, not for you, thank goodness, because you extricated yourself. You broke the cycle. But for this family unit, whatever, they've been living this dysfunction for decades, years, whatever, before you got there, like I said. And it's, as you well know, not easy to be the cycle breaker, man. It's a big undertaking to extricate yourself from this harmful dynamic, this unhealthy situation, and most people, unfortunately, just don't have the initiative to do so. So it's particularly hurtful when you're in this scenario and your peers, like your siblings, your cousins, you know, these are the people that grew up with you, and you most likely had close connections with them. When you start to kind of separate yourself from the dysfunction and say, hey, I've been treated like garbage and I'm not going to stand for this anymore. It's like they'll either be with you or they'll just stay where they are. And this is really hurtful. It stinks because I'm trying not to get personal about this, but in my own situation, it's like I truly loved and was completely invested in family members, and I truly believe they were just my best friend, one person particularly. I genuinely, wholeheartedly loved this person. But you know what? It's like trying to turn the Titanic around. It's like you can't convince someone to change their life if they do not want to. And unfortunately, a lot of people just comfort. People tend, it's a human trait to fear the unknown. So people would rather, just continue trudging through this scenario than separate themselves from it. And, it's the comfort of the family unit. And, if you've gone out, branched out on your own and broken the cycle, it's like, it stinks to not have a family of origin. But you know what? You gotta get rid of the zeros to make room for the heroes. And it really, legitimately, authentically is true. I met Joe, my husband, freshman year of college. And I was like, not ready for this amazing relationship that we ultimately have. He fully loves me, embraces all aspects of me, all my issues and everything. And back then I was like, they always say that when you come from dysfunction, you gravitate towards chaos and mistreatment because, the calm security of a real love and relationship, unconditional love, it's like too peaceful. It's like boring. You think it's boring. So I definitely did that, like with Joe. It wasn't freshman year, it was like sophomore year. We were together like 2 years. But and then in the interim, when I was not with Joe, I gravitated to a loser narcissist that treated me horribly. And again, no one said anything. No one stuck up and said, hey, you know what, Michelle? Like, he's a creep and he's treating you like garbage. And, actually, my one girlfriend, I have to give her so much credit. She was like, he's making a fool out of you. And that was it. I was like, you know what? I'm done. And that was the final straw for me. So thank God for her. My Carolyn. I have to give Carolyn credit for that. Sorority sister. But in terms of how it's going to transpire when you remove yourself from the abuse, from the mistreatment, the disrespect, you might end up having to walk away from a lot more people than you anticipated. And in terms of the family unit dynamic, as I said, it's intergenerational abuse, trauma, whatever, and it just continues to perpetuate without you, with or without you. So, all you can do is worry about yourself is what I'm getting at. And it's disappointing for us because, you always want to see the good in people. You always want to cultivate people's best. I get that. If you go to my website, you'll read what I wrote about this. But it's like bumpedbruisedandblessed.com. BT Dub, I picked my April winners. Congratulations to you guys. Tried to notify you. I've been having like some technical difficulties. I do hope that you received my email notification and we're going to get you your t-shirts. So I'm thrilled about that. But I'm so sorry. Like it's just, this is a crummy topic. This is a unfortunate repercussion of being the trailblazer that you are. Being the cycle breaker is so difficult. It is like, but as I mentioned, it's like turning around the Titanic. You can't do that. All you can do is jump ship and save yourself and all of the generations after your kids, etc. Most importantly, you deserve better. So, alright, you guys, my book is coming out soon. I can't wait. So excited. please check out my website if you haven't done so yet. And I got the Amazon store and the Spring store. I love the logo. I made it myself. It's a badge of honor to signify all the difficulties, hardships, trials, and tribulations that you've been through, but you still choose to be a good person, to help others, and spread your light into the world. And that's all we can do. I love you guys. I will be back. I love you guys. I will be back next week with another video, I hope. Trying to be consistent again. I love you all.